This is the Be a Hero Gaming channel where we talk about gaming and how you can be a hero in your games, but more importantly, how you can be a hero in your real lives as well. I hope you guys out there are being heroes. I hope you're looking for ways to make a change in your lives, to make yourselves better, to level up in your games, but more importantly in your lives. I think one of the most difficult things that we have to master as humans is our emotions. For some reason, humans crave deep emotion. And if you feel a little bit of emotion, you want it to be bigger. People who are angry want to look for reasons to be more angry. And people who are feeling sad want to listen to sad music and make yourself feel more sad. For some reason, we look for things to make ourselves increase the intensity of the emotion that we're feeling at the time. And most of the time that's okay, but sometimes that can end up getting us into trouble if we're not able to take control of those emotions. Now, unfortunately, we can't always affect the way we feel. Sometimes an emotion sweeps on us when we're in a vulnerable state, when we're stressed out, when we're tired. Sometimes we don't always know the answer on why we feel the way we do. But emotions happen to us. They come unexpectedly sometimes, and you can't always affect the emotion that you're feeling at the time. But you can do something about it. And I think that's something that we underestimate, our ability to take action to affect our emotions. Now, the reason I decided to make this video was because there's been, I haven't even really watched very many of them, but there's been a ton of videos and a ton of backlash that's been online about the Magic the Gathering Commander bans and some of the cards that people have invested money in and time to collect and put in their decks, and now they are no longer legal. And a lot of people have gotten pretty angry and said some mean, hurtful things in the internet, which is completely unacceptable. I will echo the voice of a couple of other people who have posted videos that it's unacceptable for us to threaten people or to take our anger out on others. Again, this is one of those times when you feel angry and you feel upset and you want that emotion to be more intense. And so you start doing things and saying things to increase the power of that emotion in a negative way, in a way that's counterproductive, in a way that hurts others, and it's just not acceptable. But there's a solution. There's a solution to that. Again, the hero point of this video is, if you feel something, what are you gonna do? What's gonna happen next? And we could talk about all kinds of different emotions and things that you should do, but that's kind of up to you. I'm only gonna talk about one thing today, and it is whatever it is that you're feeling about the Magic the Gathering Commander bans, what are you going to do about it? And I've got a solution for you. It's funny because I kept seeing these videos and I kept thinking, well, it's obvious. There's an easy solution to this that will solve everybody's problems. And I kept thinking this, and I thought, well, why don't I do a video about it and we'll tell people about it. First of all, I just want to say, I enjoy Magic the Gathering. I collect Magic the Gathering. I play Magic the Gathering. Every now and again, I'll pick up a box and stick it in my closet, and sometimes we open them and make decks out of them, and sometimes we just let them sit on the shelf like these boxes here. But I enjoy the game Magic the Gathering. And is it a perfect game? No. There's definitely things about the game that I don't like. One of those is this whole banning of cards scenario. I don't like that. Another thing I don't like is there's so many different formats in Magic the Gathering. And I know Commander's the most popular. I don't really like Commander because the decks are too big and the games take too long. And when I sleeve my cards, they fall over because the deck's so gigantic. So I don't really like Commander that much, but I enjoy playing Magic the Gathering. I enjoy the game. Again, there's things about it that bother me. And if you're upset about Magic the Gathering, there is a solution. And the solution to that is the DBS. And some of you might know what that is, and some of you might be thinking, what in the world is the DBS? DBS stands for Dynamic Balance System or Deck Balance System. I've heard it called a couple of different things on their website, but it is for this game right here, Wonders of the First. And if you have not seen this game yet, it's gonna come out, I think, next month. So the cards right now are at the printers in their latest update, and those are supposed to be available in November was what their estimation was. Now, we all know how Kickstarters go. We'll see how that ends up. If that ends up being the case, wonderful. If it's a little bit late, that's usually to be expected with most Kickstarters. But the game's being printed, it's being packaged, and it is ready to be put in the hands of the people in the very near future, which is something I am super excited about. And here's why. Let's go back to the DBS. This is a system that the creators of Wonders of the First have created to make it possible for there to be no banned cards ever. Okay, I have a couple of cards here. I pulled out a couple of my favorites here. The Dimensional Piercer is super awesome. A weapon you can equip some of your wonders with. This thing you can store energy on. This is one of my favorite cards because you can store energy and use it for later. A couple of characters from the game. Emma, I think, just won a competition earlier they had with Who's Your Favorite Card. A couple of others. Obviously, the First, which is an awesome land that helps you out in your gameplay. None of those cards will be banned. And so if you're upset about the game you're playing, again, I like Magic. I'm going to keep playing it. I think it's a fun game. I'm going to keep collecting it. But I am really excited for Wonders of the First because I know that I'm going to get cards. None of those cards are going to be banned, ever. Now, you might be thinking, how is this possible? Well, that's where the DBS comes in. They're going to assign a point value to each card depending on how things develop through time at gameplay and competitions. And as they find out, hey, this Drogothar, which is one of my favorite cards, is way too powerful. And so we're going to bump up his point value a little bit. Now that might upset some people, although the card won't be banned. The point value might get bumped up and it might be more difficult for you to fit this into your deck. But the point is, it will always be available. And the reason why they call it dynamic, or I think the D stands for deck sometimes, is this point value will change through time as people figure out combinations. And as newer cards come out and they're able to be comboed with older cards, those point values will go up. And then depending on the competition or the friendly gameplay you're playing with your buddies, you could say, we're going to make a 500-point deck or 200 point. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do the point values. If they're going to be low, 1 through 10 or 1 through 100. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. But that will be available online and will be constantly updated for people to look at to create their decks. You can go in there, and what would be really cool, I don't know if they're going to do this, it would be really cool if they had some kind of a system where you could just click the cards you're going to put in your deck and it would just give you a total point value. That would be really cool. But either way, you will know what the point value of your deck is to make sure that you are in equal competition with whoever you're playing with. That it won't be like, well, my deck's about a 7, when really it's a 15 or a 10 or whatever. That will be a precise number you'll be able to calculate from the DBS, which again, these numbers will change over time, but the cards will not be banned. They will always be available. Now, with that said, another thing is these cards will never be reprinted. So if you have a card that you collect, like myself, I play and I collect, I don't have to worry about a collector card that I have that is going to be reprinted 5 or 6 more times and it's not going to have any value to it. Now, a lot of you might scoff at that and say, I despise collectors. Well, the good news is for every card that is produced, Scrawl here, another one of my favorites, is going to have the generic card, okay? Scrawl, the generic card that you'll be able to get from packs. There will be a serialized Scrawl, and I think this one is a mythic, so I think there's 1 through 10, 1 through 25. I can't remember for the serialized. There's fewer with the mythics and the epics as there are for the commons. There's more serialized commons. But each card will have a basic card. It will also have a serialized card. It will also have a 1-of-1 card. So if you really like Scrawl, I want the 1-of-1 Scrawl, or I hope I get a serialized one to collect, but I can also get a generic Scrawl that I can just put in my deck to play with. And so I think that is so cool that they have made a game that is perfect for collectors and players alike. It does not get any better than this. And if you're upset about reprints or bans or all these other things that other collectible card games do, Wonders of the First is for you. Because not only do all these mechanics in place make the game collectible and playable, but most importantly, the game is a blast. The game is a lot of fun. It can be played in a reasonable amount of time. And you could sit in a night and play 2 or 3 games, do best out of 2 or something, or just play a few games for fun and easily fit a few games in an evening because the game is played in a reasonable amount of time and the game is a lot of fun to play. So again, if you find yourself upset or feeling an emotion that you don't like, a negative emotion, whether you're sad or depressed or angry, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to try to look for ways to intensify that emotion, or are you going to try to find a solution to get yourself out? That's not always possible. Sometimes it takes help from others, and if that's the case, please seek help from family and from friends, but there's always something you can do. And in this case, in this scenario where cards are getting banned and people are super upset, there's something you can do about it. You can pick up this game when it comes out in a month or so. Man, I can't wait to get these cards in my hands and start ripping packs and putting decks together and post and play videos. I'm really excited about that. I hope you guys are playing games. I hope you're collecting cards. I hope you're having a good time doing it. But more importantly, I hope you're being a hero in your real lives. You guys take care. Thanks so much for watching.